Hello friends! Today, as you may have noticed, this is getting posted later than normal because life has got away from me. But today we're continuing, as promised, on white lies, black lies, and everything in between. So, as a continuation of last week's video, today I'm going to explain the moral component of lying, as explained in a variety of social contexts. Wow, words. And of course, how the whole mess applies to folk healing. The first thing to understand here is the term white and black lie, and that they're not as old as people think. So every source I found, because this same quote is quoted all over the place, they essentially quoted the same magazine from 1798. It's a gentleman's magazine. It took me forever to track down exactly where it came from. I finally found it in Google Books, and the quote is as follows. "I am told that a certain lady of the highest quality next to royalty makes a judicious distinction between a white lie and a black one. A white lie is that which is not intended to injure anybody in his fortune, interest, or reputation, but only to gratify a garrulous disposition and the itch of amusing people by telling them wonderful stories." This is from the article of Lies, White and Black in the Gentleman's Magazine, written by Sylvanus Gent? I think that's his name. It might be something else. It was on page 647 of the book I found it. So, using this quote, which is the earliest reference that I can find of white and black lies, if a white lie is that which is not intended to harm, then logically a black lie is intended to harm. It's important to note that these terms, white and black lies, have nothing to do with race. They have everything to do with the Christian symbolism of white and black, where white is representing holiness and purity, and black represents evil and vice. Some common metaphorical examples using colors this way are pure as driven snow, a black heart, pitch black soul, and white lambs as a representation of Jesus Christ, as in the Lamb of God. So, getting that out of the way, the quote from Gentleman's Magazine. It is in alignment with the oldest definition I could find of a lie. Well, I shouldn't say the oldest I could find. The oldest I had on hand in my dictionaries, which, to remind everyone, or if you didn't see the first video, this is how it was defined. A falsehood uttered in speech or in act for the purpose of deception, an intentional violation of the truth. Fiction or a false statement or misrepresentation not intended to deceive, mislead, or injure, as in fables, parables, and the like, is not a lie. This is from the Webster's New 20th Century Dictionary from 1949. So this is approximately 150 years after the quote from Gentleman's Magazine. If we accept these definitions, and I'm not saying that you have to, just that these are the definitions I'm using within this video, then a host of small misrepresentations to ease social interactions are not lies. In my search for more context in regards to lying and historical thoughts on it, I found a series of quotes from a man named Austin O'Malley. He was a professor of literature at Notre Dame who lived between the years of 1858 and 1932. The following quote is taken from his book Keystones of Thought. "Those who think it is permissible to tell white lies soon grow colorblind." This was on page 107. While I believe this on its own is not entirely correct, I compare it with one of his other quotes from the same book and get a more complete image. "If you keep your eyes so fixed on heaven that you never look at earth, you will stumble into hell." This one's from page 70. again, we're coming back to the concept of intention. Are you intending to harm someone? Or are you intending to entertain or protect someone? We must look at where we are and where we intend to go, lest we find ourselves lost in the weeds. To continue, let's consider some of the following scenarios. When someone asks, "Does this make me look fat?" Are they actually asking if it makes them look fat? Are they asking for a compliment? Situations vary. 2. When asked, "How are you?" do they actually want to know how you are? Or is it just the societally expected thing to say when you greet someone? Sometimes it's better to just say, "I'm fine," and move on. Do we trust this person not to be a gossip? Do we trust this person to not share the information with someone who might use it to harm us later? These are all things to consider in your answer to the question, "How are you doing?" And then, no matter the question asked, consider the following. If we give this person the information they asked for, or they implied that they're asking for, will this come back to bite me? Will it harm me to give up this information? If so, you're fully justified in not telling them, or in answering the very specific question they asked instead of what they intended to ask. So while preparing these videos, I was talking to my aunt, and she shared this with me. White lies are being nice when you could be mean. She was specifically saying in reference to appearance or immutable traits that can't be changed. You don't have to be a dick. You can be nice. That's not lying. I would add that I found another quote that pertains exactly to this on Pinterest. It's from poster Quinn Murphy. Quick note, your brutal honesty? Ain't nobody asking for that. Where is your clever honesty? Your compassionate honesty? Your insightful honesty? Uplifting, poetic, empowering? Take your brutal honesty and go sit in the back with the devil's advocates. I love this. Brutal honesty? Honesty shouldn't be brutal. At least in my opinion. If your honesty is intending to harm someone, you may as well just lie to them at that point. You don't have their best interest at heart if you are being brutal. You're trying to hurt them. Which, in my book, is immoral. Defending yourself is one thing. Intentionally seeking to do harm? Nah. So, referencing back to some previous quotes, if you're only being honest to harm another person, you're just going to stumble into hell, as Austin O'Malley told us. Now we're going to shift gears a little bit, and I'm going to quote the devil himself, as brought to us in the show Lucifer. So specifically, this comes from Lucifer Season 6, Episode 1, Nothing Ever Changes Around Here. In the episode, the titular character is talking to one of the other characters named Chloe, and this is their exchange. Lucifer says, "What can be more magical than magic?" Chloe responds, "Isn't it a little goofy?" And Lucifer says, "Goofy? It's skill, cunning, and deception without telling a lie. What's not to love?" I'm going to draw special attention to a piece of this. It's deception without telling a lie. There are times where it's not only appropriate to deceive, it's fun, it's entertaining. Stage magic is all about deception. tall tales are all about deception. But they're fun. They're to entertain. In addition, not only can deception be to entertain and have fun, which is morally neutral, or I would argue beneficial, there's also deception to save lives, which I also believe is moral. We don't have time to go into the whole rabbit hole here, so I'm going to use one specific example of this, which is well documented and well understood. Nazi Germany in World War II. Many, many people were coerced into participating in the heinous party known as the Nazi Party. Because they were told if they didn't do what they were told, they would watch as every member of their family was murdered before their eyes, and then they would follow. My example is that of, sorry, this one's hard because there's family connections here, is Oskar Schindler. Oskar Schindler joined the Nazi Party fairly early on. At one point, he was a spy for Nazi Germany. But he was doing it to save people. You may have heard of the movie Schindler's List. He spent years of his life lying, deceiving the members of the SS and the Nazi Party so that he could save Jewish lives. If God's going to condemn him for that, that's not a God I want. That's not a God I want to serve. The God I serve is a God of love and a God of mercy. I believe, and this is just my personal opinion, I'm not speaking for deity here. I don't think I can do that except in relationship to myself. And I believe that Mr. Schindler did exactly what he was supposed to do. According to the Nazis, he was a lying piece of shit once they found out the truth. To the rest of the world, he's a hero. Intention matters. So, all of this is to say, the moral implications of lying are far more complex than people give them credit for. If we just listen to Google and the most recent definition of an intentional mistruth, you don't get a full picture. You actually get less than a full picture. You get so little of a picture as to be useless. I encourage everyone who has watched this video to consider for yourselves the intention of mistruth, the intention of the lies, both white or black, to harm or to protect. Consider within your own moral framework how this affects you. This is how it applies to folk healing. If your actions and your thoughts, your actions and your beliefs are not in alignment, you're going to suffer spiritual harm. So, define for yourself what a lie is and live true to your belief in regards to it. Next time, because that now opens another can of worms, we're going to get into the difference of some of these related topics, such as my truth, the truth, fact, opinion, perception, reality, feelings, and what does it all have to do with identity? Because all of these things have kind of got attached to identity. And that is really where the crux of folk healing and lying and deception and belief and reality all tie together. It's going to be interesting as I write the rest of it. Until next time, walk in the light, my friends. Bye.